All right, let's try this. Hello, hello, hello. Anyone out there? Can anybody hear me? I'm gonna take my hair out. Oh, no one's here yet. All right, let's see. Spirit, can you please send out the notification? Hello, we got someone transfer over to the live that was working. Hello. Maybe. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Can you hear me? You know, that's the same thing. That was the same problem that had happened with channeling messages on my phone. That same thing happened like 5 or 6 months ago. No, it was, no, 5 or 6 months ago. My phone just decided that the microphone was not going to work when I was channeling messages. Hello, 1212 take 2. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Julia Rose, psychic medium, Reiki master, master healer, herbalist, yogi, all the things. Welcome to the 1212 portal messages. We're going to try this again. I pray this message finds you at the precise time you need it. As always, take what resonates with you and leave the rest for everyone else to find, as these are timeless collective messages. So put it where it fits. 1212 portal, timeless? Yes, because anytime you're seeing that angel number, you're tuning into the energy that is highly concentrated on this date, December 12th, in that heavy portal energy. Okay. So I had a bunch of notes here. I was going to do a stream of consciousness, kind of what kinds of things have been coming up in the collective energy. And there's been a really strong emphasis on a few different points, okay, collective. One of which being trusting. I know we say it all the time. Trust the process, trust your guides, surrender, let go. Yeah, but practically, how? Practically, what does that mean? One of the biggest things that your guides have been needing you to do is to let go of the things that you can't control. And when you surrender and trust that your guides who have expertise in these things that are helping you to make things happen in the co-creative process, that when you focus on doing you, your guides can focus on everything else. Doing the things that you're called to do, doing the things that you know you need to do. Okay? So letting go is one of the biggest messages here of the 1212 portal energy. So let's talk about the angel number itself. 1212 has some components of mirroring because you have, but it's not quite mirroring. It's more doubling and repeating. So it kind of feels like the way we had to start this message was also really really like try again. Okay, try again. Okay, no, try again. It feels like that's some of this energy that's coming up for you as well. Like really learning how to be patient with yourself when things don't go the way you expect or what the way that they might have been planned. Even sometimes spirit guides plans change, okay? Sometimes your spirit guides plans change because timelines shift, because they're working with everyone else's free will as much as they're working with yours, right? Especially if there's a lot of collaborative energy in your life. And they're working with other people's spirit guides. So just something to keep in mind when timing is not what you expect it to be, or you find yourself impatient. That's really what I mean. When you find yourself being a little bit impatient, just remember there's a lot of things at play in creating what it is that you desire. So biggest thing, I love this energy. We've got the 8 of Wands coming out for you in this 1212 portal energy. Things moving forward, opportunities becoming clear. But it also feels like the way now is being shown. It feels like for a lot of you, you've had some confusion about fresh starts or new beginnings in your life, or how you're supposed to go about making something happen that you've been given the download for. Most especially, you're needing to trust that you can do the things that inspired you to pursue that in the first place. Okay? So, for example, Spirit was giving me this metaphor of someone being a baker here, okay? And I guess it just works because I like baking. And so it's something that I can explain in a way that makes sense to me enough that I can translate it for you. So you like baking. So God wants to see you do more of what you like, right? Because you're in that energy of doing things that make you feel good, and God wants to help you feel good when you're creating that. So you'll get some new recipes, you get some new tools, you get new ingredients, and then before you know it, you're ready to start baking for everyone, and you're bringing your masterpieces everywhere, and then suddenly God gives you the idea that you should make a business. But you get overwhelmed because of all the details. And you're like, okay, but how am I supposed to do that? And that's not what I signed up for, and that's not what I wanted, and that doesn't sound great, that doesn't sound like it's what I need. Or then it becomes a whole thing like, okay, well, maybe you're on board now, but it's a lot more paperwork, it's a lot more responsibility. You have to think about things differently in terms of how you're going to streamline your process. Are you gonna rent a space? Are you going to do it from your house? Like all of this planning, all of this expansion, when you were just happy doing what you do best. And spirit needs you to know that the focus needs to be on you doing what you do best, you doing what lights you up, because that's naturally going to put you in an energy that makes you feel aligned with what it is that is trying to expand. So when you're focused still on doing the things that make you feel good about whatever it is that is this larger thing in your life, but there's maybe this one piece that you're like, you know what, it really makes me feel like I know what I'm doing, or it really makes me feel like, yes, I'm learning what I'm supposed to know, or yes, I'm creating something that matters. Whatever those things are, spirit needs you to do more of them. Because it feels like for a lot of you, the question has become, how do you spend your time? How do you spend your time in terms of overthinking versus actively creating solutions for yourself and redirecting your thoughts that in such a way it helps you feel like you are doing things that are moving you forward. And it feels like when you're trying to do the things that aren't quite in alignment with you yet, like if you're overthinking about the stage of planning for something or a stage of creating something that you're not quite at that stage for, it's going to feel incredibly out of alignment. It's going to feel incredibly overwhelming. And you're going to say, you know what? I don't feel like this is helping me. I don't feel like this is helping me to focus on this. But where you're calling your power back in this energy is redirecting yourself towards the things that you enjoy, the things that make you feel good about whatever it is that you're doing here. And that's really what's making things clearer to you with this 8 of Wands energy. That's what's opening up opportunities. Sometimes I'm seeing that you guys get a little tripped up in differentiating between overanalyzing and running with what spirit has given you. There's a very big difference between these things. When you're overanalyzing things, it makes you feel like you're stuck in an anxious analysis paralysis, and it's not actually constructive. But a lot of you have been conditioned and in certain settings that have told you that that kind of overabundance of planning, overabundance of mental energy is actually going to further you towards where you're trying to go. But that energy isn't inspiring to you. What's inspiring to you is this other energy where you are doing more of what makes you feel good, doing more of what you're passionate about and the things that you really like. So maybe some of you guys you're like, for example, you really like marketing. You like digital design. And spirit wants you to start doing things like more of that. Okay? And now this isn't necessarily, I want to say, about making every hobby a business, because I know what it's like to try to monetize your joy and it be successful and it be something that burns you out. Okay? There's a very strong difference between those things. So where you're needing to find structure in energetic exchange is trusting that your intuition is everything that it needs to be. It's always telling you exactly what you need to know, not more, not less. So this 8 of Wands is coming in because you're Your inspiration is making it clear how everything lines up. When you are inspired, you're able to build new connections and perceive new paths forward. But you can't always do that in a way that feels like you can take action in it when you're in an over analysis around what isn't actually in alignment with you yet. So your guides are trying to pull your energy into a space of creation. They're wanting to align you with what feels good, what feels right, what feels like, yeah, that's the thing right now. And the King of Wands coming out after the Eight of Wands tells me that you know what this is. You know what some of these things are. You just have been feeling like the comfortable thing is going to be safer than the inspiring thing. Okay? So your guides are wanting you to think about practically, instead of, well, planning for 10, 20 years in a way that you don't feel aligned with yet, to be planning for certain things. For some of you, I feel like this is certain, what are they called? Milestones. Thank you. Some of you are trying to plan for certain milestones and creating a lot of rigidity and structure around things that have not yet been decided. And it's kind of, that's also contributing to this draining energy that you're experiencing. Some of you might be feeling drained if you're over analyzing and over projecting a future that might not even be aligned with you. So the next biggest point here was to release expectations. Let go. Let go. Release expectations. Because when you have a lot of expectations on things and people, you invest your emotions in such a way that it actually gives your power away. That's actually handing over your peace to whatever these situations are. So when you instead focus on, well, what can you do now? That's going to make you feel like whatever choices you have made so far are the right choices. Instead of being like, well, is this right? Is this wrong? If you made the choice already, make it the right choice. Even if it's different from something that you ever expected. This is about shifting your perspective. Shifting your perspective to see, okay, well, these are the cards that I have here. These are the cards. These are the cards. What do we do with them? What do we do with them? Well, you guys, that's not the energy I want to read. I know for some of you that might pull cards for yourself and you're like, you know what? I'm sick of hearing the same old thing again. Or that doesn't make any sense. It could just be that it's not time. Okay? Co-creating is not about control. Living a life led by spirit is about following your inspiration. It's about following your inspiration, because in your inspired energy, your blessings multiply and your available opportunities increase exponentially. You're being encouraged. Okay, see, I love this. I love this because the Three of Wands is the card of the future, right? But the Eight of Wands is about opportunity. You just have to pick a direction and work with what you have. God's going to fill in the rest. Okay? Work with what you have. Be where you are and live there fully until it's time to move, until it's time to make a new choice, to create something new. Be where you are and create what you desire. And Spirit wants you to be more open to seeing, okay, well, if you've been habitually doing the same things over and over and over again for a very long time, it doesn't have to be years, but a long time. Sometimes you feel stuck because you're feeling uninspired. Those are two different things. To be stuck Actually, is it it's more of a perspective shift, right? Because if you're uninspired, that implies that you can pivot to move in a direction that feels more aligned with you, to focus on something in the now that feels more aligned with you. So it feels like one of the biggest things that you are really tackling with this 12-12 energy is trust. Coming back to that again. Trusting that even if you don't have the solution right now, you know what to do while you wait for one. So basically, how to keep yourself healthily occupied. Or you know how to go about creating a solution now. Either it's not the right time or you've been looking at things in a way that doesn't serve you. But either way, if you don't know which one it is, you know how to figure out which one it is. And then you know what to do from there. This energy of the 12-12 is trying to tell you you're not out of control. You're not powerless in the waiting. You're not powerless. You're not hopeless in the waiting. Actually, there is so much for you to experience and create and enjoy when you are in between the things that you have planned. And so, Spirit wants you to find new ways to create an energy that feels aligned with you in those, you'll say gaps, but they're really not gaps. They're full of potential. These are spaces in time that are full of potential for you to explore new information, to meet new people, to learn a new skill, get a new hobby, travel, whatever it is that you feel called to do. You're being given that space in time to do something that can actually serve you in that moment. When your manifestations aren't here yet, it means that there's more that you need to explore. There's more for you to uncover and discover. More ways to create inspiration. So I've been channeling messages, you guys. I've been channeling some messages. I don't think I'm going to create another deck anytime soon, but I've had an urge. I've had an urge to write some messages. Open up, blessings incoming. Can't even make it up. And I actually have channeled messages here already too. I wrote down some stuff for you guys. And open up was one of them. When you're worrying, when you're placing a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself or thinking yourself into a spiral, you're pushing away more of the energy that you desire. So it's very important that you get to know yourself really well in these times so that you can start to recognize when you deviate from those emotions and those feelings that you desire. It's not that you're constantly going to be feeling the same thing the same way all the time. That's just not human. Okay? That's not human. But there's definitely something to say for the moments where you know you're making a choice that doesn't serve you and you could be choosing something else. That's all we're talking about here. That's all we're talking about it here. And the first thing I wrote on this list was take charge of your reality. And I think that perfectly sums up the point that I was just making. Take charge of your reality. If you're waiting and putting pressure, see, I feel like when you invest your emotional energy in external things, you don't have control over external things. It's like putting your future in someone else's hands and expecting that they're going to get every single thing right in terms of your tastes, your affinities, your skills, and your desires. When you put the ball out there that's somewhere not in your court, you're giving your power away. And that actually builds a lot of not only anxiety, but a lot of resentment and puts strains on your relationships. So recognize when you haven't invested in something that you don't have control over. Now, I'm not a sports person, but I think this is a very common thing in sports enjoyment. I guess, I mean, I'm not a sports person, but I imagine that you can imagine that same sort of thing, like the emotional investment of being invested in and what other people doing, or some of you, like, if you're the kind of person to like do beds or something on that, I don't know, but where you invest your emotions, where you invest your time. Thanks for dropping in. Where you invest your emotions, where you invest your time, these investments either can serve you or they can drain you mentally or emotionally or even physically. And spirit came through. Okay, this was a message, actually. I don't know if I put it in a different upload that I did, but there was something here for you also about, I really like the wording from the other day. I hope they'll bring it back. Hmm. It was about, like, you choosing to invest in yourself, choosing to get to know yourself, betting on yourself to be what succeeds in your life. Not that everything you do, everything that you don't have control over will be successful. But if you yourself decide that you are going to be successful, about it doesn't matter about how all the rejections, because you know you're waiting for the right one that's aligned with you. You've already anticipated, you've already expected. Yeah, the Four of Wands just fell off the bottom of the deck here. That's also my 1111 card. So you could be seeing 1111 as well on this 1212 portal energy. Okay. When you invest in you and the things that are aligned with you, that puts you in an energy of already feeling like you're accomplishing whatever it is you're trying to do. When you invest in you and not in the results, you eliminate unnecessary emotional turmoil. And that's also what it means to let go of control. It's not that you don't take action towards the things that you want. It means that you're going to start listening to your own voice as a voice of authority in your life. This is what's best for me now. This is what's not great for me anymore. Taking a personal inventory might be helpful for you if that's something that you're called to. But that message is ultimately about realizing that you have more of a say in how you use your time than you think. And that comes back to one of the other messages that was coming through. Okay, thank you for bringing that back full circle. I was really hoping it would come through, Spirit. I wasn't sure. But that also in that shift of focus, you're also becoming a more powerful magnet for what it is you desire. Because you're embodying the frequency first. You're embodying that reality first. And it lets you trust all of the things that you have no control over will be in alignment with you, however they're supposed to be. Now, that also gives room for you to advocate for yourself when you're meant to step into certain soul lessons and certain soul contracts. Maybe that means letting go of certain soul contracts that don't serve you anymore because you've completed the lesson. It's like you can either choose to feel at peace with everything or you can be angry with everything. And when you're focused on doing the things that bring you peace and focusing on yourself in that way, you're going to start to notice where in certain situations, especially in your past, you gave a lot of your power away in certain situations you didn't need to. not that you would have known any better at those points in time, just that you, as a consequence of growing, as a consequence of evolving and becoming more self-aware, you're starting to recognize, oh, well, that's what that looked like when that didn't serve me. This is what it's starting to feel like when I'm pulling my power back from that cycle. Yeah, Spirit says, release expectations, support yourself, receive your manifestations, in that order. In that order. I like that a lot. I'm going to read it again. Release expectations, support yourself, and receive your manifestations. Congratulations. Awesome. So, are you ever lost? That was not what I wrote, but that's really what Spirit said. Are you ever lost? It feels like it, but it just means you're looking in the wrong places. Because what I actually wrote was, are you ever not truly guided? Is there ever really a point in your life where you are not given the next step? Even if the next step is to pause, to rest, reset, and let go. Sometimes the next step is to take action on something that you couldn't see before you were ready. Give yourself grace, okay? These messages feel really interesting. It's like interwoven, but also like it feels like a plate of spaghetti. It's kind of everywhere and not really straightforward. But that's all I had written down. So I want to pull some cards for you. We're going to use the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. And if I have more of my own messages that come out in my little channeled notes, then they'll come out. All right. Messages from the Angels and Ancestors. Yeah, they're just wanting me to reiterate, take charge of your reality. Take charge of your reality. What do you need to know from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle for this 1212 portal, as well as the 1212 angel number whenever it appears in your life? It's really interesting. I've been seeing 1212 like crazy all month up to this day, and I did not see it once today. I wrote it down because I was like, all right, well, I know I'm in the energy. I don't need the validation. Spirit already gave me the validation. I just had to trust when the time came. And I know some of you needed to hear that today. Awfully quiet. Thank you, Lisa, for dropping my website in the chat. I didn't have a chance to update the description box yet because I was live over on my phone, but my phone decided that the microphone wasn't going to work, which was the same issue I had months ago, which is why I started doing lives here anyway on my computer. And here we are. All's well. But I will update that as soon as I hop off here. Okay. If you're wanting to book a personal reading, the link is in the description box here. Also the live chat if you're here live. Oh, Spirit, that's so funny. Okay. Okay. Okay, wow. That's funny. Okay. Okay. So this first card that came out, I was seeing some of you might be trying rituals with candles. That might be a synchronicity for some of you here, but I'm also seeing references to a fireplace, um, or just generally lit candles. That feels significant here. And then the one that made me laugh, it says downtime is necessary to receive this big blessing. Okay? So trust the process. And that when the first card was open up, blessings coming in. Literally. Literally. But not when you're stressed out. Not when you're stressed out. That's funny. Spirit said, give your manifestations some space. Give them space. Give them space to meet you where you will be by the time they're ready to reach you and by the time you're ready to receive. Sometimes Spirit goes, not good enough for my collective. For real. Yeah, again, the link to book a personal reading is in the live chat. My website is fromspiritforlove.com. Got a lot going on over there, so I'd love it if you'd go and check it out. Okay. Yeah. Some of you are feeling extra frustrated with certain things because they're past their expiration date. You've stayed in this cycle long enough. There's a past life person coming in here. Past life love. That could also be familial, like a family connection, past life family. I'm seeing a fireplace in their home. I'm also seeing a candlelit dinner. Candles on a mantle, I heard. This could be one of those cycles that you're ready to release right now. Hey, welcome in. Yeah. I'm here. Spirit's saying go nice, or like go nice, play nice. Then go easy on this person because you're seeing things a little bit more clearly than they are, okay? That just came out, so I wanted to give that message to you. This person could have an error in their chart, or you could. Or maybe I'm hearing like, I need to get some air. Someone's saying, I need to get some air. A necklace or a locket coming through that's significant to you or this person. And maybe if you've been waiting to be reunited with someone, the spirit said, the wait is over. The wait is over. I feel like for a lot of you, it's just time to get excited again. It's time to get excited about the things that make you feel good and focusing on the things that bring you joy. I know that sounds so redundant. I feel like half these messages today have just been like driving the same point home over and over and over again. But sometimes that's what the message is. Sometimes it just needs to be repeated until it's clear. And that's that's also how spirit works. They'll tell you however many times they need to tell you until it's clear. Okay, I'm going to pull some more tarot cards. I don't think we're going to be out here much longer, folks. These messages felt pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah. All right. Wow. Nine of Wands, the Devil, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. Fear is nothing in the face of truth. Fear is nothing in the face of your destiny. Fear is nothing in the face of what you're meant to accomplish and what you're meant to receive in this life, reciprocally for your service. You're going to be entering a cycle where you, if you haven't already been moving through these lessons, you're going to be facing certain negative beliefs about yourself and releasing them. You are conquering the negativity that you've harbored in your identity. That came through. Spirit wants to make it clear to you who you are and who you are not. And to show you the ways that fear has lied to you. To show you the ways that certain negative ideas and negative beliefs, even negative emotions, have been taking away from you, that they've been draining you. Six of Pentacles, that some of these things have been draining you. That it's like the idea that it's really hard to work towards your dreams, that it's really hard to make things last. It's really hard to make things be what you want. When you believe these things with absolute firm conviction, that is you deciding which reality you are living in. So if you're not happy with the way that your reality is structured with those rules, of course, within karmic limitations, transcending karma isn't really a thing. I mean, the law of karma. It's absolutely achievable to close cycles and create new manifestations and create new energetic exchanges. That's absolutely achievable and attainable. You've already seen that in your life. One of the things you're learning right now is how to operate within different like laws of manifestation. I feel like some of you are learning the laws of manifestation. This is something you're focused on, and they're really going to help you. Because where superficially they're not working, it's going to point you to inner work that is being triggered by what you're perceiving as stagnation. Okay? But Spirit's just showing me like they're saying it's like it's time to take the reins. It's time to take the reins and do things differently. So yeah, I'm seeing that some of you are learning how much you haven't trusted your spirit team. And that's a really loaded statement. That it's been hard for you to genuinely believe in their goodness, to believe in their unconditional love for you, or that the positivity that they're sending you is eternal and ever expanding, ever increasing, because of these negative self-beliefs that you've carried. Like things that you have very deeply harbored for a very long time. Some of these might be related to past life wounds, past life scars, because we did have a bit of past life energy coming out here. If you need help with that, book a healing with me, book a Reiki session with me, because the spirit will show me how it's all compounded and locked into the root. We'll get to the root together, okay? My website's in the description box. It's also here in the live chat for you, okay? Well, if you're here live watching this, it's not in the description box yet, so click the link in the chat. Because I really would love to help you with that. Like, some of you are starting to get to know yourselves in a way that you haven't actually known yourself before, because you've been looking through the lens of illusion instead of the lens of truth. You've been seeing, wow, that's so crazy powerful. You've been seeing yourself, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, through the lens of your pain instead of the lens of your truth. Okay? You've been seeing yourself through the lens of your demons, your illusions, your fear, others' projections, whatever negativity you've been dealing with, instead of the light of truth, instead of divine truth. And once you commit to making that pivot consciously over time, because it's not just going to be like a one and done. This is many layers to your energy bodies, many layers to your subconscious minds. You're going to start to see the reality of your triumphs. How every single win, no matter how hard fought and won, was a win. Everything you did to, for some of you, get clean, for some of you, get healthy, get out of those relationships, to set those boundaries, to work hard and study to pass your exams, to work hard for a new job. All of these things are wins, but it's constantly like you're setting the bar. As soon as you sense the win is coming in, you take the bar and you throw it all the way over there and say, yeah, but what's this? That felt really aggressive, but it is kind of aggressive, okay? Because Spirit wants you to acknowledge that the things that you've been trying to manifest have been coming in. And they will start to multiply the more you give them credit for showing up. Just like you should be giving yourself a little more credit for showing up. God does. Your guides do. It is the shift in your perspectives that determine what is possible for you. Again, the metaphor came through about the cards that you're dealt are the cards that you're dealt, but what do you do with them? Do you trade some of them? Do you just buy a whole new game? Like, what are you going to do? There's always another move to make. There's always another move to make. What else do you need to know? I feel like we're wrapping up the messages here. I'm so happy you all came out. Happy 12/12. Happy Friday night. I love you. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to my channel. And that way you will get notified, if you hit the notification bell, around the uploads that I make, as well as the live streams that I do. I go live every Saturday, so you'll see me tomorrow morning at Eastern Standard Time if you want to come hang out. And we'll get into some more collective messages. And that's going to be 9:45. I made those earlier. We used to start pretty late, but I couldn't do it. I wanted to be out here earlier for you. And Spirit was like, we need you out earlier. And I said, okay. Who am I to resist? Though sometimes I try. All right. What came out was the Chariot. The Chariot. I want one more here, Spirit. Okay, they're saying that's the reading, which means that's the last card that I'm going to get to pull for you tonight. All right? You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Happy you're part of the collective, Leroy. Yeah, so we went from Nine of Wands, the Devil, to the Ace of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, to the Six of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Chariot. Like, some of you guys are really starting to recognize that you've genuinely built yourself from the ground up, okay? And I want to say that Spirit has been also Spirit's been making mental health a very strong theme in the collective right now. That there are so many struggles that you guys have really fought on your own without help, without bringing other people into those things, into your pain, because you knew how much you were suffering and you didn't want to put that on anyone else. And Spirit wants you to know that you do have people that are here to support you. Okay? And if there's someone around you who needs some help, who needs some support, if you're able, if you have that within your bandwidth and your capacity, send some love their way. Show up for them in a new way. Keep them in your prayers. Yeah. It's very common for light workers to take birth in families where mental illness is a very prominent yet unspoken challenge and struggle. So please be gentle with yourself. Please be gentle with yourself if this is one of the contracts that you have here to work through. It's all nice to talk about things in theory, especially with, I mean, with anything. But it's a different kind of walk to honor your pain and to meet your emotional self where you are, to meet your darkness, to meet your fear and your pain head on. That's not for the weak. And you are by no one's definition weak. Okay? So even if you don't feel like you're at where you want to be, please acknowledge that you've come further than you might have thought. Further than you might have thought was possible. And always seek out the help that you need. I'm going to be so real with you. Sometimes Spirit will tell me that psychic services are not the answer for you. Okay? If I need to come out here and tell you that you need to see a physical therapist because you need to be healing your pain physically, because that's part of the way that you were supposed to come to terms with your body and your past experiences, then Spirit's going to tell me to tell you you need to see a physical therapist. If you need to see a psychiatrist because hormonally and chemically you are working through things that your body can't overcome by itself, then if that's the message, that's the message. We are lucky to be in an age where there is so much research available that is helpful. And I pray that if you are seeking Western medicinal help, that you find doctors that can really hear you, that you find practitioners that can really hear you. If that's what you need. And there are people that I will say you need an herbal regimen, you need herbal supplements to help get your body back on track. There are people that I will say Reiki can solve this issue for you in a little stretch therapy. Come to my office. Okay? I will tell you what it is. Because you are a multidimensional being. Yes, you are spirit. Yes, you are source incarnate. And you also live in a material world. You exist in nature with nature. And it's very important that you are living in harmony with all aspects of your being. Because that's also what's going to help you here with getting to where you want to go, with becoming who you wish to become, working with all of these dimensions of your being. Okay? I love you dearly. I love you dearly. I love you dearly. I love you dearly. The chariot is about integrating all of those different parts of you and getting them all into alignment so that you can go, so that things can pick up pace for you. Don't deny the help that you can give yourself. Sometimes you need teachers, sometimes you need tools. If you want to work with me directly, I offer a variety of different things at a variety of different price points. You can check out my website, fromspiritforlove.com. That's FOR, not the number. And I would love to help you because I want to help you get practical advice. Okay? I know that's what Spirit showed me. That's how Spirit has guided me, practically and spiritually. And I look forward to being of assistance to you however I can. If you're here on the Collective channel, I'm so happy to have you. If you want to join me over on Patreon, I'm so happy to have you. I'm going live on Monday night to do a guided meditation on Zoom, and that's exclusive to the membership. If you want to join over there, those are guided Reiki meditations, and we do wild things. They're not usually an hour, but sometimes they're in the range of like half hour, 45 minutes, just because they are very deep activations. And I also do extended messages for everything that I put up on YouTube most of the time. Usually not the lives. Sometimes the lives, when Spirit tells me, okay, there's a long part 2 to this, I'll put it over there because that's what they tell me. But I'm going to be doing pick a card over there soon. So I'm excited to bring that all to you guys. Okay. So just remember, if you can, while you're here, please send some love in the chat. Put some love in the comments. I know when I go and I look at like the healing frequencies and I see the people who go like, for the person reading this right now, I hope that whatever you're going through, that you find the help that you need, that you remember how loved and how beautiful you are. That's so beautiful. Share your light. Be kind. Be kind, because you never know what people are going through. Okay? You never know. And your kindness just might be enough to tip the scales. Never underestimate the power of your light or your love or your life itself. All right? All right. At ease, soldiers. I will see you in the morning. If you're going to come hang out again, I'd love to see you. I'll be out here 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing our Saturday morning live. I said what I said. Those messages are always very savage. I'm usually pretty blunt. But those have a different level of kick to them. So if you're down to hang out, I'd love to have you. All right, Collective. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Happy 12/12.